Kylian Mbappe's story starts long before the world began chanting his name in stadiums. It begins in a small suburb of Paris, and Bondy, where a young boy with wide eyes and impossible dreams grew up in a community that didn't always promise success. But that never stopped him. If anything, it pushed him harder. Hello, and welcome to the Daily Raise. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bondy isn't the kind of place the world looks at when searching for the next global phenomenon. It's a mix of cultures, energy, and sometimes struggle. But that's where Mbappé first learned that talent means nothing without work. His father, Wilfried, coached football. His mother, Faiza, was a handball player. Sports ran in the family, but greatness doesn't come from genes alone. It comes from obsession. And even as a little kid, Mbappé wasn't just interested in football. He lived it, he studied it, he breathed it. While most children talked about superheroes, Mbappé talked about players like Ronaldo Nazario, Thierry Henry, and Zinedine Zidane. He didn't just watch matches, he analyzed movements, studied finishes, and imagined himself on the biggest stages. He didn't hope for stardom, he expected it. Coaches at his Bondy still talk about Mbappé like he was a once-in-a-generation gift. He wasn't the tallest. He wasn't the strongest. But he had two things nobody could teach: speed and instinct. He moved with a natural ease, like he knew where the ball would go before anyone else did. And when he sprinted, defenders simply disappeared behind him. Even at 6 years old, he trained like it meant everything. Older players would leave the pitch exhausted. Little Kylian would stay behind to practice finishing. He would shoot again and again, until he got it the way he wanted. People who saw him back then didn't say, "He might make it." They said, "Just wait. He will make it." Mbappe's real test came when he entered Clairefontaine, France's elite football academy. Only the best of the best go there. It isn't a place where you're praised just for being talented. It's where you compete with kids who are just as good as you, if not better. Here, Mbappé sharpened more than his skills. He sharpened his mindset. He learned discipline. He learned structure. And more importantly, he learned how to play under pressure. Coaches in Clairefontaine said he carried a sense of calmness rare for someone so young. He didn't panic. He didn't hesitate. When he got the ball, he already knew what to do with it. But even with all that talent, nothing was guaranteed. Europe's biggest clubs wanted him. Scouts came from everywhere. Yet Mbappé's family didn't let fame distract him. They wanted a place where he could grow step by step. And that place turned out to be Monaco. Monaco wasn't the biggest club in Europe, but it was the perfect stage for a young star ready to explode. Mbappé joined their youth team, and it didn't take long before the coaches realized he wasn't just another talented teenager. He was something more. He had the kind of confidence that made defenders nervous before the match even started. At just 16 years old, he made his first team debut. The stadium wasn't full, but the moment was massive. And from there, he took off. In the 2016-17 season, he did what most teenagers only dream about. He helped Monaco win the French league title and shocked Europe in the Champions League. He scored against big clubs like Manchester City and Borussia Dortmund. He didn't play like a kid. He played like someone who belonged on the biggest stage, and the world finally started paying attention. Paris Saint-Germain didn't just want Mbappé, they needed him. They saw what everybody else saw: speed, technique, maturity, and that special spark you only find in legends. He signed for PSG at just 18, becoming one of the most expensive players in history. The pressure was enormous. The expectations weren't normal. People wondered if he could handle it. But Mbappé didn't just handle it. He dominated it. In his first season, he formed a dangerous trio with Neymar and Cavani. The speed, the flair, the finishing, it was pure entertainment. But what made Mbappé different was that he never acted like a superstar off the field. He stayed grounded. He stayed focused. He didn't want fame. He wanted to be the best player in the world. World Cup 2018. If there was one moment the world realized Mbappé was not just talented, but truly special, it was during the 2018 World Cup. He was only 19, but he played without fear. He sprinted past Argentina's defense as if they were training cones. He scored goals that will be remembered for generations. And he became only the second teenager after Pelé to score in a World Cup final. France lifted the trophy. Mbappé lifted an entire nation's hopes. He wasn't just a rising star anymore. He was a global phenomenon. As the seasons went by, Mbappé didn't slow down. He broke record after record. Fastest to 50 league goals. Youngest to reach Champions League milestones. Top scorer year after year. But behind the goals was a player who wanted more. He wanted European glory. He wanted titles that defined legacy. In the 2020 Champions League final, PSG came close but fell short. It hurt him. It motivated him. It changed him. From that point, he wasn't just a kid with speed. He became a leader, a voice, and someone who carried responsibility on his shoulders. World Cup 2022. 4 years after lifting the trophy, Mbappé returned to the biggest stage of all. And what he did in Qatar was beyond extraordinary. He scored 8 goals. He carried France to the final. And when the world thought it was over, he scored a hat-trick in the final against Argentina. 3 goals in the biggest match of his life. He didn't win the trophy, but he won the world's respect. That performance didn't make him a star. It made him a legend. Every superstar reaches a point where they have to decide what kind of legacy they want. Mbappé's move to Real Madrid was more than a transfer. It was a statement. It was the next step in a story that still feels like it's just beginning. Now, he plays with confidence that comes from experience but carries the hunger of someone who still wants to prove he can go even higher. He's no longer the kid from Bondy chasing a dream. He's a global icon inspiring millions to chase theirs. Kylian Mbappe's journey isn't just about football. It's about believing in yourself when the world hasn't noticed you yet. It's about staying disciplined even when success comes early. It's about dreaming bigger than your circumstances. From a small suburb to the bright lights of global stadiums, he shows that talent opens the door, but character keeps it open. His story reminds us that greatness isn't about where you start. It's about how far you're willing to go. If you like the story, please like, share and subscribe to my channel.